Hey, great Saturday evening. It is a different type of night in the city of Brownsville, and let me tell you, we don't have the pretty background around us and the beautiful umbrella light on this pretty face because we're recording from home. Well, I am. I'm recording from home because Doreen, my buddy from Harlan, said, "Don't go out." And I'm going like, what do you mean don't go out? I'm going to go back to the office. She goes, no, stay. So I stay. Good evening, Jennifer. How's it going, Jay? Watching on YouTube tonight. Yes. Guys, YouTube, we guarantee you that it won't slow down. It's a little bit faster on YouTube. Joe, my man, how's it going? Hey, Marco, God bless you, my brother. And Julio, my man, God bless you. Good evening. Good to see you, man. Yeah, for some reason, it's just a lot quicker. It goes faster. And then there's little lag on YouTube. And I know this morning we had a little bit of lag on Facebook. You know, Facebook is very fickle. You know, again, sometimes you'll get thrown in Facebook jail just for calling someone penguin. And I hardly ever do that, so it's kind of weird. Pedro, buenas noches. Hannah or not hurricane. We consulted 45 new cases. Dr. Ed Hernandez, thank you so much. And I hope you can stay on right now for a little bit in case we have any questions for you, sir. We do have Joe Valdez, one of my most amazing friends here in Brownsville, a teacher out at Porter, and also a soccer coach for the girls' team. Is that correct, Joe?
I'm an assistant coach with the varsity team for the Porter soccer, yes.
Good. And Joe, man, it's an honor having you here. I know that I've got a lot of messages from my veterans folks, my veterans parents, and a lot of veterans players out there that were very interested in seeing how you were doing. And actually throughout the whole ordeal, since we started to let people know that, you were, out there, you were fighting this virus. A lot of people sent their best regards, and a lot of people here in the city of Brownsville, I promise you, man, a lot of us were praying. Hey, Juan, God bless, praying for you, man.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
And, of course, we got Frankie. Frankie, how you doing tonight?
Good evening, Joe. Hello, Erasmo. Good evening, world. I want to apologize in case I go down. Power around the airport has been coming and going, so just in case I go off, I'll be sure to come on my phone or on my iPad. So if I do go off, give me a few minutes and I'll be on. It's been a very windy, drizzly day. We are expecting Hannah to hit. I believe they categorized it as a category 1, if I'm not mistaken. So we are expecting some much needed rain. So other than that, glad to see Joe on here. He's looking good and eager to hear his story tonight, Erasmo. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Saavedra, for also being on. And again, if you could chime in case we have any questions. One of the reasons why, I wanted to have Joe on here is, again, we know that Joe, contracted COVID-19 and was actually fighting it at the ICU. And Joe, you want to tell us, what was going on out there?
Absolutely, Erasmo. And first of all, I'd like to give glory to God for the opportunity to be here talking to you guys, because there's no other explanation why I'm here talking to you guys other than the big man upstairs is not done with me yet and has something in store for me. Because
God is good.
It's the things that I'm battling should have made it where I didn't leave Brownsville alive. And secondly, I would like to thank you and the community, my friends and family, everyone who has been sending me good wishes, prayers, always welcome. As you hear, as I elaborate on what's happened to me, you'll understand why I'm saying that, because there was some times there where it was pretty bad, and I would have moments of clarity, and I know that it's the power of prayer and you guys thinking about me. So I want to thank everybody that has sent me positive vibes, messages from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it.
Amen.
And thanks for having me, Erasmo. So I don't even know where to start. So I guess what I'll do is I'll tell you that one of the main reasons why I did come on was because I think what you're doing is very important, because you have to make the community aware of what's really happening, because I myself am victim of this, that I was operating on false pretense, because I'm relying on our city leadership, our county leadership, to tell us, hey, what's going on? Are we safe? What can we do? What can't we do? And and the truth of the matter, based on my own eyes, Erasmo, because people are gonna hear things here, they're gonna read things on Facebook, on the newspaper, on the media, and everyone has a different idea. My own family, they don't know what to do. I have friends that don't believe it. I have friends that do, but I'm here to tell you that I'm living it. I'm living it with my own eyes, flesh and blood. I'm living it. So I'm here to tell you my experience. Uh, I'll tell you right off the bat that our hospitals are overrun. They're understaffed. They're overwhelmed. They don't they don't have the equipment necessary to deal with the influx of cases that we're having, because we're making bad choices. We're making bad choices as we go out to the community. And I want to tell you how bad it was at Osmo. I went to the ER 3 nights in a row and got sent home 3 nights in a row to go quarantine at home. Now, and I might have forgot to tell you, but I tested positive for COVID. I have viral pneumonia in my lungs, and I developed, because of the COVID, it attacked my nervous system, and I developed Guillain-Barré syndrome. And I'm sorry I can't pronounce it right, but it's Guillain-Barré syndrome, which it starts paralyzing your system, starting from your feet. It moves up your body. If you don't catch it and you don't do anything about it, it shuts your body down until you stop breathing. 3 times I went to the ER, and the first 2 times I was seen by a PA, and nothing against PAs. They're trained and do what they're doing, but when they have 200 people in line and they have to operate in an assembly line type of environment, it's difficult to diagnose somebody. So I got sent home from Valley Regional 1 time, then from the urgent care, then from Valley Regional. The fourth time, I was at home and I couldn't feel my hands anymore, my feet. I couldn't move. I couldn't feel my abdomen. And then I had facial paralysis. And at that time, I said, I'm having a stroke. So we called EMS, and believe it or not, they were having a hard time deciding whether I was worthy of being taken to the hospital, because I wasn't blue. I was still communicating, answering my age, the dates, the common questions they ask you to see if you're coherent. And the the situation got a little pressured, and they told me, we'll take you, but we can't call you out as a stroke because you're not meeting you're not blue at the face, you're still coherent. So they're gonna want us to wheel you into the ER, but you're not gonna make it into the ER because they're overloaded. They're redirecting people. So fortunately, I have a very stubborn sister and
Yeah.
fiance that they were there, and they're like, no, you're going. And my sister, for being such a short little person,
A feisty one.
she's a feisty one. So okay, so I succumbed to the big sister rule, and said, take me. But I got to tell you, Erasmo, they wheeled me in the ER. They wheeled me past the people that are in the ER in reds on the side of the wall like a movie. This looked like a movie to me. And they wheeled me all the way to the front lobby. That's normally a lobby. Now it's a makeshift. Uh, I don't know what they do, vitals and things. And the lobby is now in the parking lot. It's out in the front parking lot, which I had already seen the days before when they ran me off. I had seen old people out there dangling off wheelchairs because there was nobody there to care for them. They were in an area taped off, caution tape. It was horrible. But this was the beginning of my nightmare, Osmo, because they literally had to take me off the gurney and put me in a chair to check my vitals. and they were about to send me back home to quarantine at
Oh
home.
my God.
I was lucky that, as crazy as it sounds, a former student that was involved in the organization that I sponsored happened to be working, and very nice kid. He wasn't even from my school. He was from Hannah, but I helped him as he was running for office with the organization, and very nice individual. He grabbed a doctor who came by, started talking to me, and this doctor actually paid attention to me. And when he realized that it was more than just COVID symptoms, he asked them to admit me and requested a neurologist. And they told him, we have no room. So he said, okay, then hook him up, start monitoring him somewhere. And they literally, I was in a bed in the front lobby, hooked up to a blood pressure machine with my blood pressure skyrocketing
My God.
for almost 2 hours before, huh?
Yes, go.
Before they got an opportunity to move me around. And then I made it through the night. The next morning, the neurologist came in, diagnosed me to have the Guillain-Barré syndrome, and ordered an IVG process to stop the progression of it before it was too late. So therein begins what became the most horrible nightmare of my life, because I spent a couple of days in ICU. I spent a total of 9 days at Raleigh Regional. But the first 3 days were horrible because I literally watched people come in and die next to me, in front of me. Yeah, horrible, horrible deaths that I'm gasping for air, for help, not enough nurses and people to care for two people at the same time. I was in a pod with 4 or 5 people, and every time I closed my eyes, I managed to get headphones in there, and I would put music so that I could keep from hearing these people taking their last breath, asking for help. And what I got, in all fairness, the medical staff was doing everything they could. They did. They were good. They're good people. They tried, but they're totally understaffed at Alcohol. They
Yes.
were horribly understaffed. And I actually heard one time a supervisor come in. They had a nurse and a tech in a pod with 4 or 5 people, and they had to pull them out because they were understaffed, and they had one person to deal with 4 people intubated and one that could be intubated at any time because of my condition. Again, I had 3 things that were trying to take over my lungs, so I could have been at any point. My oxygen could have dropped. So, plus I couldn't move. I was almost completely paralyzed. So, fortunately, I started getting better to the point where I was able to maintain my own oxygen without a respirator, and they moved me one step lower to the PCU, which is still 100% being monitored. But that didn't change anything because that was like the middle stepping stone to the ICU,
Right.
and there were still people that were there halfway and still dying. Like I would open my eyes only to see my next door, the bed next to me, getting put into a body bag. So I'm able to hear your shows. I couldn't see them, but I would with my and hear your shows, and I hear the questions you ask that they ask you. I'm sorry, or the comments they make about how it's not real and it's the flu and this and that, and I'm telling you right now that the numbers y'all are getting are completely wrong. They're completely wrong. I witnessed 3 people dying in one day in my room, and then when I ask the nurses about them, they tell me once they make it to the intubated, we're losing 10 to 15 people a night in that hospital alone.
Wow.
10 to 15 people a day in that hospital alone. And I witnessed it. I was watching that happen. So that's not an exaggeration. If I knew that, Erasmo, as a community member, if I knew how serious that was and how my life and my family could be at jeopardy, I wouldn't be out there doing stupid stuff. Not that I was. I was at home for 3 months. I wasn't leaving, but I would see the pictures at the island and everywhere, and it's horrible. Just people don't understand how serious it really is every day, and it hasn't changed. I don't know. At some point, the last night I overheard them talking about how they're they were having difficulty with the oxygen, and they said, "Oh crap! I hope the oxygen doesn't go down. It's malfunctioning because it's overloaded." So thank God, Erasmo, I got to the point where I was so sustained on oxygen, my condition had stopped getting worse. It got to the point where I now needed aggressive recovery therapy, and it took about 2 days of calling everywhere, and between my sister and my fiance and my brother, they finally found a place in Houston. It's Texas City, actually, where they were willing to take me even though COVID positive. And they've been awesome here. They've been taking care of me. They've been very aggressive in treating me. And I can tell you that every day I get better. My speech is getting better. My throat has opened. I can actually swallow. My hands are moving. I can't feel my hands. I can't feel my feet. I can't feel my abdomen, but I'm a little more mobile. And I heard I don't remember if it was last night or the night before. You had a lady that was talking about numbness.
Erica.
And Erasmo, you have to tell them that it is a symptom that could get progressively worse because it starts crawling up your body, and if you don't attack it quickly, it'll take over your body and shut you down.
Amen.
So please keep doing what you're doing, Erasmo. I see that people come in here and sometimes be ugly. They don't understand that the information you're giving them can save their lives. And I agreed to come on because I feel if people understand how serious it is, maybe they'll start thinking that you're right about those numbers are right. I'm telling you, Erasmo, those numbers on the county report are absolutely wrong, without a doubt. No question in my mind. No question in my mind. Because in the 9 days that I was there, I saw at least 20 people die. And that's because that's one room, one room. So that's the reason why I came on, Rahman. I appreciate you inviting me, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to tell the people the reality that this nightmare that COVID is. It's for real. And you need to take care. You need to make the right choices, make the right decisions.
Well, first of all, I want to say, Joe, I mean, again, I had the opportunity, I told individuals when I was telling about you how, when you let me know that you were, feeling sick, and I was out there joking with you because I always joke around. But yeah. I was very, very concerned when I did a FaceTime with you and you were, in the ICU. And I was literally concerned because it's like a 180 right now.
Yeah.
And I saved a picture of it, and I'm going to show you later on when you're back here, and I'm going to show you. I mean, you just look like a totally different person. And I was at church. I actually stepped out of church that night, and I asked for prayers, and my church is praying for you. But I saved that picture because I want to show you when you come back out. It's just night and day, man. And I thank God that He's hearing our prayers. And I want to tell you that there's hundreds of people on here, your students, your co-workers, and a lot of principals and a lot of custodian people here wishing you the best, praying for you as well. So it's Mirage. One of the questions that did come up for you was, do you have any idea when how you contracted the COVID-19 or where?
I have a couple of theories. And first of all, let me apologize to the people. I can't read the text. I'm sorry. So if you're asking me questions, I can't read them. But I thank every one of you that has prayed for me and sent me good wishes. I started telling you that I would tell you what I meant. There was a couple of really bad nights, guys. I'm a very strong-minded person. I really am. But I got to tell you that I was at the verge of cracking. When I called you, Erasmo, it was one of those times where I actually started making arrangements. I was leaving messages on my phone for my daughters. I was leaving arrangements for my family. I talked to you because it got to that point. I literally felt like I was on that Green Mile waiting to punch my ticket. It's like, when is it my turn? But so come in, all of a sudden I would get moments of clarity and just relaxation, and it occurred to me that it was you guys praying for me
Amen.
that was helping me. So I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I thank everybody that has sent me prayers and keep on coming because I have a long, long, long recovery ahead. This is something that I'm told take 3, 6 months to a year, possibly more, to recover. It's a very slow and methodical thing, uh, but we're moving forward. I feel better. I feel good. I feel positive,
Great.
and I'm ready for soccer season, man.
Amen, brother. And let me tell you, my girls out there, they're waiting for you to come back, brother. Uh,
Yeah.
let me say, one of the fights again, and I appreciate you mentioning the numbers because I still constantly get a lot of individuals that say, "No, Erasmo, you're exaggerating on the numbers." And I'm going like, "No, guys, I mean, I'm in tune with my community, and I know for a fact that in our community we're losing some 15 to 20 people a day at least."
And-
15 to
and
20, and people say, "No, that's what you're exaggerating." I go, "No, I've talked to the funeral homes. I talked to my people at the hospital, Joe. I talked to my nurses at the
You're
homes."
you're probably undershooting it, Erasmo. You're probably undershooting it, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pull the politician move and swear on that question. Let me answer the question that they asked me. The so I made a decision because I have a heart condition. So I made a decision when all this started that I wasn't gonna take any chances, whether I believed it or not. I decided I'm gonna hunker down at home. I have 900 feet of fence to build, a horse stable to build. I got plenty to keep me busy. I'm not going anywhere. And I did that. Only necessary things, limited things. I wouldn't even get off the vehicle. Grocery stuff, basic. My daughter, however, and the reason was that my condition and my daughter, my youngest daughter, has an acute asthma condition that is very dangerous with this type of stuff. So I told her she had to stay home. She wasn't going anywhere. The only problem is that she's a cadet in the academy at TSC. So they were about to finish their section before they got a long break, which worked out great. Unfortunately, they received an email that a couple of cadets tested positive for the TSC Academy, and they wanted all of them to be tested for safety reasons, and she came back positive. So that's really the only uh, direct exposure that I feel I had. So although I can't confirm it, that's really the most logical reason of how I could have contracted it.
I got it. I have some more questions for you.
Yes.
Now that you have witnessed what the hospitals and medical staff is going through, what advice would you give? And you've already mentioned, but what advice would you give to those people who say it's fake news?
Well, I think that I would tell them that they need to pay attention to what you're saying because no matter what, the county is reporting back the information. Now, I could not fathom a reason why they would lie. I can't think of a logical reason why they would think it's a good idea to lie. So we have to at least believe that they're reporting what they're getting. Unless they feel there's some reason they don't want to cause panic or what, because I think that's stupid. If they know and they're delaying it, I think that's wrong. But I would tell the people that go stand at the hospital for a couple hours in that parking lot.
Yeah.
Go watch what they're doing. See how many people are in the front waiting. Look at how many people they have that are going out the ambulance, how many times it goes in. My family was telling me how many times that ambulance came in. It's not a joke, it's not fake, it's for real. They don't have a lobby, guys. That lobby is now where they're treating most of their people. They're full, they're to capacity, they don't have equipment. It's very scary, and it's only going to get worse.
The name of the disease, Araceli mentions that she had it as well. It's called Guillain-Barré syndrome, and she had it back in 1992 after 3 or 4 months after she had her baby. It paralyzes you. It's horrible. It attacks your nerve system. You're not able to walk, eat. You lose all your strength. You need to learn how to walk again, which is something that Joe is experiencing right now. And partially, you learn to do something. Something that I want to bring up real quick is Mayor Trey Mendez. Mayor Trey Mendez is now letting us know, thank God, that the city has begun publishing its own COVID fatalities report.
Good.
And that's what we need. We are 137 in Brownsville, folks, only with over 100. And listen to what Mayor Mendez is saying. Over 100 death certificates pending for review. These 100 are not COVID suspected, but will most certainly be. So again, we don't know yet. So I appreciate the city of Brownsville actually taking those measures and being proactive in regards to posting them. We need them.
And you know what, Erasmo? From what I've been listening and watching, I think Mayor Mendez has been doing an exceptional job. And I hate to say it, but unfortunately, as a leader, he's only going to be as good as his team allows him to be. And I think that Trader Mayor needs some help, because this city could have prepared a whole lot better for this. We could have been ready. We had an eye opener back in March, and there's no reason why we should have people getting sent home that need care immediately. But thank you, Mayor Mendez, for doing what you do. Hopefully, in March, you get some better help so that you can do more things for our city.
Mr. Valdez, as an educator, in your own personal opinion, when do you think it would be safe? And this is a hypothetical question. When do you think it would be safe for students and staff to be able to go back into the classrooms, in your opinion?
Well, okay, so I gotta be honest with you. I am an educator with VISD, and I can tell you right now, without a doubt, I have absolutely zero thoughts in my mind about going to work. 100% of my focus is on recovery. It's on getting better, getting back home. So I haven't put much attention, but based on what happened to me with my daughter going to the academy and possibly bringing that home, and they're limited. There's 12, 14 people. I can't imagine going back to the campuses and being exposed to so many kids and people and coming back. I have not made that decision yet. I'll tell you, my principal is awesome. She checks up on me. She's been very supportive, and unfortunately, I've been more focused on getting better than getting back to work. I'll cross that bridge when I get there, but for now, I don't believe we should go back to the campuses. I believe that we would be endangering staff and students, but that's my personal opinion.
Well, let me tell you, one of the things that I've been shouting about, and I know you've been hearing. I don't want anyone back on campus. Period. No one. I mean, our custodians have gone back, and that is a failed experiment. We've lost a custodian this past week. We lost already one of our lunch ladies out there. Today we lost a bus driver. And prayers out to the Daniel Garces Jr. family. All our love to them. We lost another great individual today in the city of Brownsville, an amazing man, Don De Leon, to the De Leon family, Austin out there, my friend Austin, all my heart, all my love. One thing, Joe, I don't want to come on here, giving condolences anymore. I don't. I want individuals to stay as safe as possible. There's something about buildings that I don't trust. I don't trust the building situation. I don't trust the ventilation system now that it's still a novel virus. I don't trust it being out in the air as much as possible. I want everyone home safe, to whereas they can control their own destiny by staying there as much as possible with their family. I mean, your situation was a little bit different because it was brought in, by your loved one. But goodness gracious, guys, everyone needs to have that option of not fearing to go back to work, not fearing to go back into a classroom. You are a coach, Joe. one of the things that UIL is wanting to do is to bring the athletes back on, to start practicing and start playing sports. How do you see students playing sports at this time?
Well, I was joking a little while ago uh, about ready for soccer season. I love the sport. I love to coach. I've been coaching for 15 years, and as much as I would love, because not a knock on any of the other schools, because I have my heart. I'm a graduate of Porter. I'm coaching at Porter. We have a great program. Coach Gracia has done a great job putting together that program.
Amazing.
He has phenomenal players that have great. They're ambitious. I'm, I'm. We were district champs last year, and we were looking at a very strong season this year. But as much as I would love to go back to that, I would much rather make sure those girls are healthy,
Amen.
living, and unfortunately for the seniors, that they move on to college and live a life. But I do love the sport, and maybe those new the experimental, the medication, the what do you call it, the what they're trying to do,
The vaccine.
the vaccine. I'm sorry, the vaccines. Hopefully they work, and maybe next semester, which happens to be when soccer comes on. I mean, I think hopefully that might work. But now, realistically, I think right now priority one should be our health and our welfare. The students, the teachers, the community. The community. I mean, we're losing community members. I'm losing friends. I have friends in the hospital right now. I was informed that I had somebody intubated this morning, and out of respect to the family, I they want to keep it private. But you know, I love this guy. He's a good man, and we're losing community members. It's everybody. You go to school, the child picks it up, brings it home, and now grandma, grandpa, everybody could be exposed. So it's a domino effect that will affect everybody. And I don't know, one thing that I didn't say and I forgot, and it has to do with the building that you said. I had a neurologist and one of the ER doctors on several occasions come look at me in the face and say, "You need to get out of here, because every person that rotates in here is coughing. You're going to get reinfected because it's enclosed."
Yes.
And that's what started the hunt for me to find somewhere to move that was out of that area. So imagine being in a room with 20, 10, whatever, and one cough affects everybody. So I have a neurologist and a doctor telling me that I need to get out of there.
It is a
They were flabbergasted. The neurologist said, "I don't know how you're sitting here breathing room air when you have three conditions that should have already shut down your lungs." So he told me, "Sir, you need to get out of here." And I said, "Well, send me out." And they tried, but nobody was taking a COVID patient or nobody had room. So fortunately, I mean, through prayers and looking and persistence, we were able to find this place. Which, my goodness, these people are angels. They're taking good care of me, and I see a huge progression, and I feel very positive.
Joe. I got some more questions for people, if you can. I know that you're good.
I'm good. I'm
Okay,
good.
good. So with Eduardo's question, what advice would you give to the community as to how to best help hospital employees?
Well, the best way to help hospital employees is not to go. And
Amen.
how do you not go? Well, don't go out into public. And if you do, wear your mask, disinfect everything, wash your hands. The hospital people are there to help you. They're good people. They were trying their best. I saw them. They were running ragged, 12-hour shifts. I mean, they were running ragged. It's not by lack of attempt. They just don't have, and the amount of people is bad. So the best way to help the people is don't go. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're gonna become positive and then you're gonna become the next person in line at the hospital. Guys, I saw people younger than me die and respirators. It's not about age.
Mm-mm.
It's not about age. It's how your body can handle it. So don't don't expose yourself, guys.
Amen. And
Do it for your family.
I appreciate that because that is one of the things that we've been trying to do, and I think our local leaders like Mayor Mendez have been trying. We want to flatten the curves because we don't want everyone crowding out the hospitals right now and overburdening our frontline staff. David Castro, my primo, is out there. He says, "Joe, how is your daughter doing? When we start school in person, do you think older teachers are more in danger of getting COVID?"
Well, my daughter's doing well. Thank you for asking.
Thank God.
She went through the entire thing asymptomatic. She never displayed a symptom. She has already tested negative, so she's quarantined. She's been at home. She's tested negative already. She's actually in the process of being tested for antibodies because she wants to donate plasma to try to help save somebody. Since her body was able to eradicate the COVID on her own with no medication or anything, they're asking her to donate plasma. So she's waiting that 28-day period. Which, by the way, guys, if you guys were COVID positive and you know it, and your body managed to do it, please, please donate plasma because there are people in line that you can save if you donate plasma. I was one of those persons. I never got it. I was in line, but there was more serious cases, but they're there. So if you're one of these people, have a heart, get tested, see if you're a candidate, and donate plasma, please. And in regards to the second part of that question, I believe age doesn't matter. My daughter's 21 years old. I'm 48, and there was people that were 20 some and 36 years old that died in the room that were there with me. I think age is not a factor. Maybe the younger group has a stronger immune system that can tolerate a little bit more, but I believe this virus is not picky. You're there, it's gonna jump onto you, and it all depends on what your body heart reacts.
Well, what happens if you don't have insurance? And I'll tell you, Norma, right now, something that Dr. Saavedra mentioned that was happening in Rio Grande City. In Rio Grande City right now, they're at that point, Norma, where the hospital is ultimately going to decide if you live or you die. They're going to give you service or they're not going to see you service because they're so overburdened in several cities here in the valley. And guys, don't even think that it's not going to happen or it's not even maybe probably already happening here in the city of Brownsville, folks. So it's a major concern. That's why Joe is out here, still struggling, fighting this to let people know, guys, adhere to the guidelines here locally. Stop listening to Abbott. Stop listening to Trump. Stop listening to Mike Morath. Start listening to our local health officials here in Brownsville who are telling you 8 feet apart, 25% capacity at restaurants. Wear your face coverings, goodness gracious. And don't take your huercos to, no seas imbécil y llévate a los huercos al Walmart y al H-E-B. Keep your kids at home, goodness gracious. Stop being imbeciles. Stop. We don't want to get to that point where ultimately, a great chunk, a percentage of our population are going to pass away because we have no health facilities that would take them, goodness gracious. And thank God that Joe had the opportunity to leave Brownsville to get treatment elsewhere because he couldn't find it here in Brownsville or anywhere in the valley. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, I literally, we had to contract an outside ambulance service because we could not find, even the ones that Valley Regional had a contract with were not available. We waited 24 hours and they kept telling us, can't do it this shift, we'll try next shift. I don't know why Brownsville contracts out of Hidalgo County. They're flooded themselves. I don't know how they expected to get an ambulance from Hidalgo County to transport me from Brownsville to Houston. So we had to contract an outside ambulance service, a private ambulance service to transport me.
Mr. Valdez, Sego from Porter, he says hello and that he's been praying for you, sir. If you could let us know your situation right now. We've heard how families aren't allowed in the hospitals right now. If if you could give us, your daily routine, and if there's anything from our community that we could do to maybe uplift your spirits during these times.
I'm glad you asked me that, Frankie, because I don't know how I missed that when I started talking. But let me tell you, that was one of the most horrific experiences that I have ever experienced. And I've been in law enforcement for 29 years. I've seen my share of misery, death, and I always believed that I was so strong minded that nothing would get me. And I got to tell you that what got me through was the fact that luckily, when I was in the ICU and then moved to the PCU, somehow I ended up by the window. And sometimes even I couldn't move. I couldn't turn on the bed, but I could open my eyes and see through the window. And 24 hours a day, I had a family member, a friend, parked outside that window. Couldn't see them, couldn't talk to them. When I had mobility, I would talk to them over the phone. But the fact that I would open my eyes at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, literally my parents, my sisters, they were taking turns, they were taking shifts. My fiance, which been incredible, and she's been on this 24/7. Uh, my brother, my friends, they were out there taking turns, and honestly, that kept me that kept me sane because what I was experiencing was horrible. Nobody should experience that. But the the advice that I would give people is you gotta call and check on your loved ones because these people are human and they're overwhelmed and they need to know that someone's there, maybe not physically, but that you're there checking on your loved one because several times they were going to give me the wrong medication. But I was always coherent enough that I would always ask, what are they giving me? What are you giving me? And I would always check and I would always text my sister, my fiance, or hey, this is what I'm getting. Check on it. And they were checking with the nurses and why are you giving this? And there was wrong things. But the majority of the people there are alone. They don't have anybody
No one.
that can see them, that could care for them, that can make those decisions for them. And the nurses are not doing this on purpose, but they're operating on a fast-paced, live or die situation 24/7 at that hospital. Code blue, code blue, code blue. They're non-stop all day.
All day.
So it's imperative that even if you feel like you're bothering, you have to constantly and what are they getting and how are they doing so that they in their mind they know, hey, I gotta check on this person. And also these guys are overworked. I did everything I could. I would tell my sister was taking the nurses sweets, coffee, donuts, sandwiches, because they're working 12 hours straight without breaks, guys.
Yes.
They need some kind of support from the community. So if you can and it's within your means, go call them, ask them how many of you are on shift, ask them how you can help. Maybe you can take sandwiches, drinks, donuts, coffee. These people, they were so thankful they got coffee and a sweet to get on through the shift. So it's important that we do that. I mean, to me, they're angels here. They were angels there. And if when I get out of here, when I get out of here, I have things in my mind that I'm going to do. Priority is get better, get out of here. But
Amen.
I'll focus on things. I'm gonna make some changes in my life, in our city,
Amen.
and because you all haven't seen the last of Joe Valdez.
and that's a good thing, bro. Bro, let me tell you something. One of the things that I'm fighting with the district is I'm tired of individuals making decisions on faulty numbers. And a lot of the decisions that have been made at the district and even some at the city level have been based on the faulty numbers that we have been receiving in regards to the number of positives and also the number of deaths. Selena was asking in regards, I can say as of right now that I can confirm 5 deaths at BISD. There are probably more, but I can confirm 5 deaths at BISD. With that said, we need to focus on the facts, and the facts are going to be found with something that Mayor Mendez has just announced right now, that we're going to get the information from the city now. And our leadership needs to focus on our local numbers, not on the numbers that are being reported by the county, not on the numbers that are being reported by the state or by the federal government. So for our district to make decisions based on Greg Abbott or Mike Marath, it is putting our people, our students in danger. In danger. Literally in danger. Because to them, if they're basing the decisions that they're making on one death every other day, it's a disservice to the community. Because we are actually having, again, I say 15 to 20, Joe says more, a day in the city of Brownsville.
Guarantee it, Erasmo. I guarantee it.
Again, one of the biggest concerns out there, Joe, is also as the the first wave, the second wave, and different other things. Is there any other information that has been shared to you by the doctors in regards to where we're at in regards to this pandemic?
The doctors that I have actually communicated with me about that have said that they have seen spikes come in and come out, and it seems to be on the rise right now. And if you start using logical thinking, you start looking at, the 4th of July, the things that where we gather and get together. And my personal opinion, it was a mistake to open bars. It was an absolute mistake to open bars. The restaurants, I understand, and look, I'm a business owner. I saw this COVID hurt my business this year bad.
Yes,
but I understand that the economy needs to survive. However, it was a mistake. Opening the bars was a mistake. The restaurants still can maintain a little bit more control and distancing, limiting the amount 25%, 50%. But the second they opened those bars, everything just skyrocketed. And I truly believe that's the spike that we're seeing right now. And unfortunately, Erasmo, one person infected is going to infect 2, 3 others. And it's just going to be one of these things that just grows. My daughter had 0 symptoms, 0. She could have been in the public. I didn't let her. She stayed at home. She did the correct thing to do for the sake of the community. But how many like her were out there in the community infecting people?
Amen. I think one of the things that we were very, very concerned with is, again, the disregard for a lot of individuals that, would continuously go out. One of the things that is a constant here is a lot of individuals were out there saying, hey, individuals are testing positive and they're still going around como si nada. We've got to stop that. As soon as you start to feel any symptoms, you need to quarantine yourself. You need to isolate yourself, and you need to make sure that if you continue to succumb to a lot of the symptoms that Joe has mentioned, that our doctors have mentioned, get tested quickly and start to get treatment if you are positive. But if you are positive, goodness gracious, stop going around town. Stop going to different places. Stop going to Walmart. Stop going to H-E-B. Stop going to the different spots out there. Joe, our hour is almost up. Joe, I have no questions. Any last words, Joe?
I mean, again, thank you, Erasmo, for allowing me to come on the show and inviting me. And I appreciate the opportunity to tell people my experience, and that's all I can base it on is what I experienced. And honestly, if one person in this show tonight makes a decision that based on what they heard today, and they're gonna change what they're doing, and it saves their life or someone in their family, then it was worth, staying up and doing it. Because I've been holding off on my medication so that I could stay alert. Because once I take it, I'm out. But I'm glad that I appreciate it. Again, I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for the wishes, the prayers. I ask that you keep on coming. I'm in no means anywhere close to being rehabilitated. It's going to be a long process for me. So any prayers you all can send my way, I appreciate it. Pray for the medical staff, for our doctors, for our city leaders, that they open their eyes and recognize the mistakes of not making it as real as it is, because it is real. And I really think that if they paint that picture that really is, I think our community will be safer because they'll understand there is no real reason why to hide the truth. Uh, so I thank everybody. Thank you for any comments. I'm sorry if I missed any comments or questions. And I thank you guys for your time, Frankie. And Erasmo, thank you guys for having me.
No, and Joe, no, I mean, I love you, man, and I do love you, man, and I'm so glad that uh, you're at this place right now in regards to your recovery, because again, it's 180 from the last time I saw you during that face call, and I don't scare easy, and I was a little scared. I was concerned, so I'm very proud. Maria is asking if at all possible, if you might want to consider, and it's something you could think about, speaking at the board meeting on Monday through public comment. So if that's something that you would care to do, want to do, just to share your experience, to let her know or let me know, and I'll let them know.
What time? What time does that happen?
It's at 10 a.m. in the morning.
Okay, I have a 7 a week. These people here are ruthless. I'm on a set schedule. I would need to check because I have procedures and therapy, and like if I'm available, I if there's something that I could say that could influence any decision maker to making right decisions, I would gladly do it instantly. If it's within my ability, I would. Erasmo, I'll text or message you in a while. Maybe we can coordinate that.
Okay, and I'll let them know. I'll let them know. Frankie, you have anything other for Joe?
Thank you so much, Joe, for your time. We'll be praying for you, brother. We'll be looking forward to the day where you're back home feeling well, and you're more than welcome to come on the show at that time. Rest assured that your family at BISD, your family at Brownsville Talk, and your family in Brownsville is rooting for you, sir. And we can't wait to one day, hopefully, be able to talk about this in the near future. So we'll be praying for you. And if there's anything you need, go ahead and message Erasmo, message myself. And if you have any questions, any concerns, or just any message that you want to give to the community, you're more than free to come on the show once again, or we could deliver that message on your behalf. So thank you so much, sir. We'll be praying for you and for your family, and also for those that are attending to you during this time. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. And I'm bored out of my mind. So anytime you have live days, call me, man.
Let me tell you, I might be hooking you up all mornings at 9 a.m. I don't have a partner in the morning. But let me say, guys, Rick, the day my family member passed away, it was reported, and Mayor Mendez reported 0 deaths that day. And I'll tell you the issue, Rick, and it's the same issue that I've experienced. I'm well versed in social media. I am the king of all local social media. So when they were reporting 0 deaths in Cameron County, and I started to see in my news feed the number of ribbons, black ribbons out there, I said, what the heck is going on? So then that's when I started to do the research, and I contacted my nurses and my doctors at the hospitals and the nursing homes, and they told me, no, Erasmo, so many people passed away. And I said, what? And then I contacted my funeral home people, and they let me know how many people had passed away. And I was flabbergasted. I mean, literally knocked for a loop when I found out, what y'all found out, Rick, that our numbers are faulty. Our numbers are wrong. And we've talked to individuals inside the hospitals, and they're adamant. They're saying, guys, we're losing all these people, 8, 10 people in one hospital, and our numbers are wrong. What bothers me about that, something that Joe mentioned, what bothers me about that is that our leadership is making decisions on these numbers. It's a disservice to our community, guys. It's a disservice to our community. And all they have to do is an ounce of research. Because if they would actually do an ounce of research, they would do what I did and ask and get confirmation. And I spoke to directors of nursing homes, and they told me exactly the same thing that I'm telling you now. So no, I wasn't lying about the numbers. I wasn't fear mongering. I was giving you the facts. I was giving you the truth. And the truth is not, Joe, the truth isn't always pretty, Joe.
It's not. It's not. And that's why I agreed to come on, man, because people need to know the ugly truth. And the ugly truth is that this virus is deadly, and it doesn't discriminate. And it's a horrible experience, guys. You don't want to be sitting in that bed waiting to be intubated, where your odds just became minimal of getting out of it. So it's ugly, and we need to understand that it is that ugly.
And I understand, and Dr. Saavedra is making us known that death certificates need to have a physician verify and also a state county verify. It is a process, probably takes several days. And I know that, Dr. Saavedra. My concern is that our local elected officials, which I hope that you will be speaking to on Monday, Dr. Saavedra, are making decisions based on the numbers that the county is producing. And that is, in my opinion, a disservice to the community, because what happens is those decisions affect me and my family in the now. So we need a system or something. We've modified everything else because of the pandemic. We've modified things because of the pandemic. We have to modify the system that gives us a better, accurate number count, because it's on these numbers that our local elected officials are making this wonky decisions that are putting our teachers, our counselors, goodness gracious, our students in danger's way. Because this district, they used our people as guinea pigs. They used our people as guinea pigs by sending them onto buildings while I was screaming at the top of my lungs, don't send them. They sent them to weight training, conditioning, and I was screaming at the top of my lungs, and everyone thought I was a crazy man. But the crazy man was right. And the crazy man was right, not because he's a brilliant guy. I mean, I am handsome and totally not fat. That's another story. But I know because I saw the trends. And I'm the king of all local social media. Continue prayers, Mr. Valdez. Thank you so much, Erasmo. Today I lost my uncle. He lost the battle. Maida lost 2 individuals that have yet to be counted. And let me tell you guys, all you have to do is go through your new feeds. We need Erasmo. I need you, Rosie. I need you. I got your back, brother Luis. For both Luis Cisneros, Joe, he's got your back. Research and work, find out, Mayor. Isn't Karina? I don't know. Get well soon, Coach. Jessica Nieto sending prayers. A lot of people sending prayers. I can't mention everyone because there was just too many. I know it'll be a struggle for him, but Joe needs to speak at the BISD meeting. I'm sure he's going to try, and I'm going to get him in touch with our AOBE people. Michael Ivan Sanchez is sad and unfortunate to think about it, but it's really we are faced with. Yes, better to be prepared. 100%. Thank you. Prayers, Coach. I'm not sure. Thank you. Prayers to you, Coach Valdez, for Monica Garza. Guys, again, thank you to all our community members out there. A wise man once told me, common sense is not that common. Very true. Guys, thank you to our teachers, our counselors, everyone out there. My prayers for everyone that's returning on Monday. I wish that you wouldn't be going back. With all my heart, I wish that you were not going back. Again, please stay safe as humanly possible out there. What a nice, humble, courageous man you are, Mr. Valdez. God bless you. Me too, yes. Guys, stay safe. Be careful. Joe, I love you. I love your family. And guys, please continue to pray for Joe Valdez. Reach out to them as well. If there's any way you could help them out in regards to medical expenses, please also take that in consideration. Also, guys, something that Joe said, please, reach out to our hospitals, our nursing staff, our people out there. Send them coffee, send them gift cards. God, goodness gracious, let them know that they're appreciated. That if there's one thing I do is every day that we have these shows is try to say, this is happening. Dr. Saavedra will be here with us on Monday at 9 p.m. And thank you, Dr. Saavedra, again. And hopefully she'll have the opportunity to speak to me. Reports have said that children in the middle and high school levels spread the disease just like adults. It's still a novel virus. We don't know. Guys, please stay safe. Hannah is hitting. We are experiencing. That's one reason why Frankie got cut off because of the light. Guys, take care of each other. Please take care of each other, and please take care of me. God bless. Be nice to each other and be nice to me.